Okay, today we're going to learn the halacha if it's okay to eat before Tekias Shofar. There's different minhagim. Some people very makbid not to eat before. Some people eat. Some people will make kiddushim before Tekias. They make a kiddush. People already davening 20 hours. It's hungry. So what the halacha? Interesting enough that in Hilchas Rosh Hashanah I couldn't find it in Hilchas Rosh Hashanah. So we have to Medama Milsa to compare it to something else. So it's a broad Siman Tov Reish Nun Beis. It's Hilchas Netilas Lulav. It says over there by Seif Beis in Shulchan Aruch. Also le'echel kodem sheyitleno, before you do bracha Netilas Lulav, you're not allowed to eat. Then says over there what you do if in case you forgot and you ate, what you should do. So over there it says clearly before you do the mitzvah of Netilas Lulav, you're not allowed to eat. So over there, Taki is a lot simpler. You get up in the morning, you say your brachas, you say whatever. People say brachas and Kriyat Shema before. You can say bracha on Netilas Lulav, and then you could have whatever, coffee, whatever you need to take before davening. It's a lot simpler. By shofar, you cannot do this. You cannot get up in the morning and blow shofar where you learn the halacha. It's not recommended to do the shofar before the zman, which is the zman, we already spoke about it. Chazal said there should be like at least 3 hours later after the day started, and even later with the time of after Kriyas Torah, before Musaf. That was a takona. Like I said, we already spoke about. So that's not a takona to go blow shofar and then eat your whatever or drink something or eat something, because you cannot do that. It's not recommended to do that. Okay, so if we're going to compare it to this halacha that you're not allowed to eat before you're gonna do, but the mitzvah that's upon you to do that, Netilas Lulav, something of here, you cannot eat before you blow the shofar. That's laying on you a mitzvah, and you cannot eat before. However, you could argue and say, okay, and it says achilo, meaning that's only dafka achilo, but not te'imo. Te'imo, achila, it's a su'uda. Te'ima meaning if I want to have a little coffee, a little bit of cake, that's called te'ima, that's a different halacha. And by the way, I'm not even going into it, how could you eat before davening, because that's another halacha already. Also, one of the shurim, we covered it already, different opinion, when you're allowed to eat and drink before davening, when not. So that's discussed already over there. But we're talking about mitzat Tekias Shofar. Take the Magen Avram over here, he says, also la'echel, he says, mashma, the te'ima ba'alma shore, then he goes through the whole thing back and forth. Maybe over here even te'ima would be osur, and he leaves over here b'tzarich iyun. He's not coming with a clear conclusion. Mitzad echad the Magen would say by Netilas Lulav again. So I'm comparing it now to Tekias Shofar. So same thing by if there's te'ima mutar, so b'shofar will be also te'ima, meaning a little coffee, a little piece of cake. Again, when it's also like the Giev had to do it before davening, so that should be allowed. But he lived in Tzarich Iyun over here. The reason for it, and the Tzarich Iyun, after back and forth, that has to do with many Gemaras and Rishonim, because over here, even though Lamashal, if we look in the halachas of Reish Lamed Beis, it talks about over there about Mincha. It says over there, V'hod osul le'echol su'uda ktana, hainu dekshukaveh le'su'uda. That's talking about before Mincha, Reish Lamed Beis. Aval litam, dahainu achilas peiras mutar, v'adin le'echol pas kabeitza, no more than kabeya, kederech shodom echol below kva mutar. So by Mincha, it says over there, it's also not allowed to eat, make a su'uda, but only su'uda's kva. But if you do te'ima, meaning a little snack, that you would be allowed. That's what that. But you could argue whether it's the rabbanon davening over here. It's mitzvah the raisa. So it's interesting. Then we're going to Reish Lamed Hey that talks about over there the union of Kriyat Shema the raisa tonight. Kriyat Shema the raisa. It says over there like this. Also lahatchil echol chatzi shor somuch lezman Kriyat Shema. And the Shulchan Aruch talks about not about the davening of the Shema, which is the Raisa, the Kriyas Shema shel Arvis, v'im hitchil echel achar shegia zmano mafsik v'kora kriyosa. So that's what he says over there. It's interesting over there that the talks about Isur Achila before Kriyat Shema. Says the Magen Avram. He says the lotion of the Tur also likvoya su'uda He says the tima ba'alma shore. Tima ba'alma mashma over here. Even when you do mitzvah deraisa kriyat shema of night, tima you're allowed to a snack. You're allowed to snack. It says ava trumas adeshen mashma da afilu tima osur. He brings a raya, the Trumas Adeshin, the Damrin Begemara Lo Yemar Adam Oichal Kimo Ve'eshte Kimo. That's the first page of Brochas. When you come from home, he says Ve'efsham Shum D'Hava the Reise Chamiret Fei. So it concludes maybe because it's the according to Trumas Adeshin by Kriyas Shema Muslim because it's the Reise. According to this would be Tekias Shofar the Reise Chamiret Fei. Memela you won't be allowed to do even Tima till you hear the Shofar. He concludes the Mogen Avram over there in Reish Lamed Hey. Nearly the end lahachmir betima ba'alma v'lodomi lekiddush l'havdola the osur litam. By kiddush l'havdola we're not allowed to do even teima. Before kiddush Friday night, before havdola you cannot do even teima. The hanu asken davka betchilas halayla beknisoso b'itziosei. Since the thing you do right away immediately betchilas halayla. Whether the kiddush or the havdalah, whenever you're ready right away to do your kiddush and havdalah, so the Chum told you don't even have a snack, nothing. Masha'enken over here, especially Tekias Shofar, it's not recommended even to do it b'tchilas hayom. Adarabah, it's recommended to do it later. Memele he says the Chorah Mashma from Mogen Avram over here, te'ima, meaning snacking before, would be l'chorah allowed to. Now, so the Mishnah Berurah, he says, again, there's nothing, like I said, I didn't find anything on Hilchas, on Shofar, but in this Siman Tov Reish Nun Beis, the Gabe Lulav, he says, when it says the Shulchan Aruch is also l'echel, he says, "V'tima ba'alma medina shorem." It's at ikar adin you're allowed to snack. Umikol mokem and local bazaim loy letzarech godel. Meaning it's not like it's perfectly glatt kosher this behavior eating before the Netilas Lulav. If you need it, you won't be able to daven b'kavona. It's going to disturb you. You mamish chalashing for a coffee or for a piece of cake. Then it says that te'ima would be allowed to. But if it's not so, if you could handle, some people could handle easy fasting or things like that. Then he says Tekias should not do it. And same thing over here, the Kaf HaChaim, he brings like this. Legaba this halacha. Because of b'tshuvas b'somim rosh l'harosh. Siman ayin daled. The te'ima ba'alma en bo'isur, ela shekosav, that's the rosh. The roi l'chol yerushamayim l'chabav ha-mitzvah, shelo lagdim lo dover. You have a mitzvah coming, mitzvah the rise, it's not some mitzvah. It's mekabel ol malchus shamayim, the old Tekias Shofar, as you're inaugurating the Kadosh Baruch Hu as a king. Melech, he says, I'm adding this product. I'm saying any mitzvah you have, you don't want to do something before the mitzvah. First to do the mitzvah. However, it says, v'chalushim, she'efshar hamtin, people that weak, they cannot wait, especially Tekias Shofar. It's many hours. We start the davening early. By do Tekias Shofar, it's many hours afterwards. It says, mutorim lishtos v'litam dovar muat avaloi pas. So that's what the Rosh passes. So the Gemara says like this. It has to do with few things of it. It has to do how much you able to do that. If it's going to disturb your whole davening, and the whole davening, instead of thinking of davening and the union of Tekias Shofar, you're going to think when I'm going to get to my coffee, my piece of cake. So probably it's better to take it out of the way, have your coffee, have your piece of cake. But if you're able to handle it and daven good and wait till after Tekias, fine. Some people talk on Rosh Hashanah, they're only going to eat first time after they finish davening, which is a lot of times that's 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. If you're able to handle it without a problem, then that's the ideal. But if you can't, if it's going to disturb your davening, you want to yishuv menuchas hanefesh, yishuv adas, then definitely you're allowed to do te'ima. That's many matirim and adrabah lichora. It's not only you allowed, it's recommended because the Rosh Hashanah comes once a year. If that's you're going to kill the kavanah of davening because of you were thinking of your coffee the whole time, better have your coffee and then daven like a mensch. Okay.